witches.
Hi, hello. Welcome back to the episode of Eyes Are the Best Part, part
You're hard to hear.
3. God bless America. Is that better?
Yeah, you just sound weird.
So the best part 3.
Oh, there we go. That was much better.
I'm still working out the kinks of this mic, okay?
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm
Eyes are the best part.
definitely afraid of this mic, so it
It
knows.
knows.
It knows. It knows. It's terrifying. I gotta have a whole new setup, and I don't know jack shit from any of it.
Well, I was fighting with my monitor, so I can't help you. I literally
My
was fighting with
mm,
my second monitor.
my computer took all night long to shut down, so I don't even know what was going on with that. We're gonna blame the snowstorm that's happening today.
Yeah, sure. It's that.
The solar flares.
Alrighty. We're gonna dive right on in because I don't know how long I'm gonna stay vertical. So,
Just
chapter
she'll be leaning.
28. I'll just be asleep on the desk,
Mhm,
coughing every couple
mhm.
seconds. Um, chapter 28 is Jiwon has just got home and she's telling Jihyun about the person that was following her. Um, and she's super anxious and they can't find Oma. Um,
Yeah, because she's starting to think it's George.
yeah. And then Uma finally comes home and she's like kind of incoherent. She's not talking, she's spluttering. She's like almost stumbling, like, and George is behind her. And then she's got an engagement ring on her finger. And so the only thing I wrote about this entire chapter was, oh, fuck no.
Yeah, I was speechless. I couldn't even I was like, "No, absolutely fucking not. Piece of shit.
Yeah.
No."
Yeah. Just no. And now, having finished the story, I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Mhm. Yep. That's really about it. She's just
That is
panicking.
fine for 28.
Yeah, she's panicking, and then she finds out everyone is excited. Well, not everyone. Uma's excited because she's getting married. Which just
Yeah.
makes me wonder, like, what is going through George's brain, like, reading a little bit more into the story. I'm just like, "The fuck?" But whatever. Anyways, chapter 29. Brady's dying off camera, so don't worry. Um, so we figure out that George and Uma are getting married, and apparently she thinks it was very, very romantic. And I think it is very, very terrible. It just seems like you don't have to have overly extravagant proposals, but this was fucking stupid. It like made no sense. There was no background to them getting married. There was nothing. It was just he asked me to stop at CVS to get some medicine, and then while we were at a stoplight, he just said, "You want to get married?" And he pulled a ring out of his pocket. What? That's probably his first ex-wife's ring.
Right? Like, that's not romantic at all. It's super lame. And It's almost like it wasn't planned, like, he just happened to already have that ring, which we all know he did, like, that's not a special ring he picked out
Yeah.
just for her. The whole chapter is just ugh. And then she's basically the rest of the chapter is just her mom being manic, talking about, like, "And this is what we're gonna do for the honeymoon, and this is what this is gonna be, and this is this, and this is this."
Her mom is so obsessed with being with somebody that she just chooses anybody, and it's fucking terrible, and there's people out there that do this.
Mhm.
But they're semi-drunk 'cause they're getting they're drinking champagne to celebrate,
And creep
and
ass George convinces Uma to let the girls have some.
yeah, which is disgusting. Not even, like, disgusting that he's letting underage girls drink. It's
But he's,
disgusting
like,
because, like
encouraging it, and we
yeah,
know how he feels about them.
I feel like it's like a predatory thing.
Yeah. Like, making them more vulnerable in his presence, which is just not a good idea.
Yeah. So, it's just weird, and then Ji-hoon, is starting to think that, Ji-won is lying to her. She's getting very uneasy, like, "Are you lying? You're lying," and she goes, "I would never lie to you," and she goes, "Yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah,
whatever."
except she is lying to her.
Mhm, yeah. And then that's kinda how we end that chapter, and we move on to chapter 30.
Yeah. And in chapter 30, like, the person is back, but then it's not. It ends up being a dream,
Mhm.
and she imagines the person is George, but, girl basically, chapter 30 just confirms in our head that,
It's one page.
Ji-won needs some help, girl.
Mhm.
Ji-won needs some help.
Yeah, because she's not necessarily, like, Ju imagining, but
She's obsessing, though, for sure.
yeah, even in her dreams, and she's trying to believe someone who's stalking her to be George. I kinda wonder to, like, um, like, that whole thing, like, the hunted becoming the hunter, sort of like,
Yeah.
you don't realize what a crazy bitch this person is until you, like, try hunting them, sort of like thriller story. I feel like she's trying to not necessarily manifest it, but she's definitely trying to, maybe talk herself into, like, it being okay because it's George and he's, like, "hunting her," quote, unquote.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, she's trying to convince herself it's okay.
To want to eat his eyeballs.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah,
Um,
31.
oh, 31. Jeffrey. This guy. He really just needs to get a life. Um, so this whole time he's been trying to get in touch with her, right? To give her her Christmas present. And she keeps avoiding him. And he finally gets in touch with her and gives her her present. And she opens it. And it is a lacquered wooden box painted with tiny cranes in a forest of bamboo. When she opens it, it's chopsticks, which is just so fucking racist that I can't even. Like, I, I just, what? Like, and they are, shiny metal chopsticks with the handles painted a mixture of pastel colors. So they're the ones on the cover of the book. But like, who's like, I really want this Asian chick to be my girlfriend. Let me buy her chopsticks for Christmas. Asian chicks don't have chopsticks. Like, what? What
Wait, it's confirmed?
do you mean?
He wants her to be his girlfriend?
I thought so. I thought we already read about that.
We read that,
Oh, well, I guess we read that Alexis what thinks that.
yeah.
So I'm just
Yeah.
projecting that onto him, but still,
So she
it's
said,
pretty obvious.
yeah. So she says, my head is spinning from the interaction and a sudden bout of revulsion I feel towards Jeffrey. And I'm like, honestly, same.
Yeah, like it was like a slap in the face to me when I read it. Cause I was like, that is almost the most racist thing that he could have got her for Christmas.
He could have, I don't know, done something better.
Like maybe got to know her. Cause basically that's like, I've looked at you and I know that you're Asian and
Yeah.
I just went with something that I thought you would like, like a very stereotypical gift rather than getting to know you and putting some thought into it.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly, I don't even know, as someone who's read half of this book at this point, what you would get her. Because to be honest, she doesn't
Eyeball.
have quite, she doesn't have, well, yeah, she doesn't have much of a personality.
Yeah,
Which,
it's mainly just doing what her like mom or parents have wanted her to do and then just studying, and that's really about it.
yeah, and like, so that's what I was about to say. Based on her trauma, it makes sense that she doesn't have a lot of sense of self. But I
Honestly,
don't know. I
I
just
know
feel like,
exactly what to get her. Therapy.
there we go. That one. Ding, 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 ding. Um, but yeah, she just woof, woof. So we learned that Jeffrey is a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then she goes home, right?
Yeah, because she's like,
Fucking reeling.
yeah, from this whole whatever, and she's in the apartment by herself with George. And I'm like, oh, now's the time. Do
Right?
it.
Do it, 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 do it.
I haven't even like read what has pissed me off the most about George. I have just gotten to this part and I'm just like, yeah, now's the time, girl. Kick it up.
Right. I honestly, by the time I got to chapter 40, I was like, I'm not even fucking surprised. Like, I couldn't even
I know.
be as enraged as I wanted to be because I wasn't even fucking surprised at that point. But we'll get to that. So basically, she's like in her head, like, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him.
Yeah, because he's like
Um,
sleeping right now.
to the point that she even has a knife in her hand. And then he wakes up and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, you want a snack?
Mm.
And then he calls her
Hungry?
Oriental
Mm-hmm.
again. And I'm just like, so my parents still use that term to describe Asian people, and I call them out every fucking time because I'm just like, is it that hard to use an appropriate term? I don't know. Because like she says, he's like, little Oriental girls are nothing to worry about. And she's like, Oriental, what am I, a rug? Like,
Yeah. Here's something else too. He could have just called them like East Asian.
he continues though, and it gets even worse.
Because I get it, when you're saying Asian, you could be talking about a lot of different countries. But like East Asia.
Asian is still better than
Yeah.
Oriental. And then he continues on to say, When I was a kid, Asian and Oriental had the same meaning. It's nothing to be offended about, like the word Mongoloid. Sir,
That is the most racist thing he has said thus far.
like, just keep digging your hole fucking deeper. That's fine. Meanwhile, this bitch is standing here with a knife fantasizing about eating your fucking eyeballs. At this
Mhm.
point, I'm fantasizing about eating his goddamn eyeballs.
Yeah. And then after all of that, she just looks at him and then just thinks, I should have killed you. And it's like, yeah, you could have.
You
You
should
should
have.
have.
And like,
Next time.
I used to think that like I used to have a much more black and white moral compass than I do now. And I was like, no, murder is wrong no matter what. You have to
You went
let
to college.
yeah, I got more educated. And now I'm like, nah, fuck that bitch. Kill him. He deserves it because he's
Let me watch it.
only going to continue to do this shit. And he's going to end up at this point, as far as we know, he hasn't actually assaulted anyone or molested any children. But like he's on his way there, especially because we know that the reason that he is attracted to Asian women is because they all look young.
Hmm.
He's attracted to teenagers.
He would have been in the Epstein files, which released
Uh-huh.
them. We're still not done talking about them.
We're never going to be done talking about them and they're never going to get released.
We're
But
just
that's a whole different rabbit hole to go down.
we're just doing our murder in the streets
Yeah.
at this point.
And so that's why I say we should have just killed George at this point. Like anything goes.
One less person for now. You know, George
Um,
is the type of person that would be nice.
he so is. He is absolutely is. Like
And he would have
got
taken
rejected
all of
from the
the Asian
FBI.
girls.
What
Yeah,
got rejected from
he would have taken all of the Asian girls and just like stuffed them in his trunk and then taken them to
honestly,
his
fucking
like
creep.
creepy warehouse.
And like honestly, I know it sounds like sensationalist, but how do we know that's not happening? We don't.
Because
We
there's no
don't know.
fucking law and order.
Right. We have no idea if these people that are being stolen off the streets are just being trafficked or if they're actually being deported. We don't know.
That 5-year-old, I have no idea where they're at.
But anywho, chapter 32.
Oh, I tell you what.
Ji-yoon is getting more suspicious of Ji-won. George is still oblivious.
He's white with a bunch of
Yeah.
little Asian girls. He doesn't.
Woo, woo, woo. Oh,
What
do
is
you
wrong?
hear her?
What?
Do you hear Scarlett? Oh,
Oh,
uh,
Scarlett's like, my dad's
Odin.
home.
Odin is so interested. He can hear her. He said, what the hell, Mom? What?
Mama, is that my cousin? My cousin from another mother?
Now he's looking at the door. He's like, is somebody here? What's going on?
No, that's just my
Um,
crazy dog. I got her a sweater. It's a sweatshirt, and you can match with her.
I love that. I wish Odin wasn't like a space heater so I could do things like that.
Damn huskies.
Um,
He went to get groceries, and she's out there by herself, and she's like pissed off that.
uh,
So that's why. Anyways. Okay, so everyone is oblivious to what the fuck just happened, even though she scratched him with the knife in her hand.
yeah.
Um, and
Yeah,
she's
and
still
then in
denying
chapter
everything to her sister, and
yeah. Then there's a part in
Um,
chapter 32 that I'm just like, yeah, that sounds like the US because their dad, it's like a flashback kind of, and their dad still doesn't know English very well. And so the girls are helping him like translate and pay for something at the store. And a man goes, "By the way, you're in America now. You should have the decency to learn the language. If it's such a problem, go back to your own country." First of all, fuck you. How do you know they're not here just like on vacation? Because you can't tell me that Americans that go to France know French fluently. Because they don't. Let me tell you, they don't.
in this case,
Like,
though, he was at his job.
still,
Yeah. But here's the thing, America doesn't have an official language.
and also, like, I just, yes, that and like,
So white people need to shut the fuck up and
and like
change
go
the
somewhere else
curriculum.
then.
Yeah. Here's the thing, I would love to know other languages. It is not the fact that I was never, nope, I'm gonna take that back because I was in a small town, like, white community, so, like, I already started off not strong. But when you get to a certain age, it's really hard to learn languages unless you are just, like, a
It is.
melting pot of, like, languages in your brain. It is very, very hard, and for somebody who fucking struggles with the English language already and like, direct object, I don't know how many times I had to be told and taught in, like, worksheets up the ass about direct like, objects, still don't fucking know what they are. I had to relearn it in another language, still don't know what they fucking are. I had to learn it again in a different language, fuck it, I don't know. I still don't know. And that's the thing,
Yeah.
like, maybe if you could, like, make English a stronger, like, subject, because reading is fundamental, learning to speak is fundamental, and communication is key in all things
Well,
related to life. Maybe I
and
would be able to, like, learn another language.
and like having a country like we're like the only country that's like, nope, we're only gonna speak our language. We're not gonna. Most other countries, you learn a second language, typically English, from
As a
birth,
child.
right?
Yeah.
Like they
When
learn a
it's
second
easier to
language,
learn.
yeah, because they understand that like this is a whole world and we're gonna need to know so we can communicate with other countries. Hi,
I
Lily.
I didn't know she was in here. I just saw ears, I'm like, "What the fuck? Hi." All my kids are making appearances today.
Both of mine are in here as well.
But and here's the thing too, it is so much easier for a child to, like, grasp learning concepts as a kid when they
Child.
are, like, getting all of that. I literally have a child's book of my first 100 Russian words, and then ended up getting a copy of it in Korean. And so it's like, you I was in a college level Russian class learning to speak Russian by listening to children's songs because it was the
Mhm.
easiest. It was slow. It was easiest to remember. They didn't have any complex anything. They didn't have slang in there, nothing. They had this is an apple. Like, that's
Yeah.
how you fucking learn. And American, like, not even language, just American education system is fucked because it has always been fucked. It has always been a terrible standardized level of bullshit. And it's it's not that we don't want to learn a language, it's that we are literally thrown into a system that half of us can't even, like, navigate. And then we don't even have the opportunity to learn another language. Like, fuck, I couldn't even learn French in high school because they got rid of it. I had to do German or Spanish.
Yep, German or Spanish, those were my choices. Which
So,
I
like,
chose Spanish anyway because I was like, that's like a lot around here in rural communities. That's what a lot of the immigrants speak.
mhm. There is actually a huge, Korean, like, culture now growing in Kokomo in Indiana, which is, like, the weirdest place of all, but, like, my aunt loves BTS. Loves BTS. found that out when I went back for a funeral. And she was like, "We're gonna try to get tickets for the BTS World Tour." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "I know I'm not gonna be able to afford any of these tickets, but if she's willing to take me, I'm willing to go and pay for some of it. Like, I got you. I'm willing to do it." I sent it to her. I was like, oh, speaking of, today's her birthday, so I probably should say something to her. But I sent her a picture, and I was like, "They're back." And then I sent her like an entire goodie bag or goodie box of like BTS stuff from the Korean festival that we went to. And she was like trying to say all these like Korean words in front of me. And I was like, I love this because we have never been able to bond over anything. She has been like the sportsy, like boy mom. And then fucking K pop brought us together for a bit. And I was like, okay, okay. Guess what? She never even responded to me if she was going to try to get tickets or not. I was like, okay, well, we're back to being not on the same level. Got it.
It's fine.
Just wanted to see BTS, guys.
Oh my
But
goodness.
anyways, so this guy was a dick to somebody who was trying to learn, and it's not even like they other cultures struggle with it too. You try to learn a new language at a different part in life. That's why so many people know English and like 4 other languages in locations other than America because they value culture. We value barbecue, guns, and freedom.
But not even that. Only on
Freedom of
under
white people,
certain conditions. Yeah, there
men,
we go.
no women. Women's not part of that. We don't talk about women.
No.
They're in their red cloaks, sitting around somewhere.
And then we see after that, we see a different interaction where Jiwon and Jihyun it witness an interaction between a man and a woman. Both white and on a date. Um,
Where
basically
the white
arguing, and
women
they
at?
kind of see this white woman put this man in his place. Um, and it was eye opening to Jiwon.
Hmm.
Um, and she kind of learns how to deal with a man like George because of that.
Yeah, because she
Um,
basically learned that if you don't give them power, well, actually, in here it says, and this is the quote that and let's be real, a lot of other people highlighted it as well. 1,456 people have highlighted this quote. It says, "The only power he has is the power you're willing to give him, and you've given him nothing, not a scrap. By the time you're done with him, he'll be begging for mercy. Who is he if he can't control you? Is he even a man anymore? It will seem like a relief when you give him a hand, even if that hand is holding a blade." And then when you take everything, wait, hold on, what? And when you take everything from him, you can say what these men say about us. He was asking for it. He was begging for it. He must have wanted it since he didn't fight back.
yeah,
That is women culture, if I could ever describe it.
yeah. And that is the end of chapter 32.
Like, Monica Kim, you are speaking to my heart. I love it. Are
Yeah,
you lesbian?
absolutely.
Because this is a feminist book, and I love it. So G1 learned a very valuable lesson that day, that if you give them power, they are willing to take it, use it, and abuse it.
hmm
So
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm starting to lose it a little bit. Chapter 33.
I've got it again.
So Jiwon has been stealing $50, $100 here and there from George's wallet. And I'm just like, how do you not notice $100 going missing? Like, I would
Hold on.
100% notice.
he might not notice as much, but if we were to if we continue on to chapter 40, I think chapter 40 will actually, like, explain a lot of that. Not really explain it, but, like, give an idea behind, like, why he doesn't notice it as much. Because it is a little
Yeah.
like, if $150 like, I forget that I have cash in my wallet, so, like, I probably would, like, forget, honestly, but also, this is the
But
age of
it seems like
technology.
he, like, uses cash a
Yeah.
lot, yeah.
So for him, I don't necessarily think I think there's a reason behind him not noticing as much.
Yeah, well, and then the very next little section of the chapter, she's asking him about his keys, like, "Why do you have 2 house keys? Why do you have this?"
Mhm.
And he's like, "Oh, it's just for my old apartment. There's a lot of good memories attached to it. I like having it on there." You have a second family. Fuck off. You
Yeah, because
absolutely
she
have a
even
second
says, "Liar,
family.
you fucking phony," and I was like I'm immediately thinking it was like it was a what was it? It was a movie, and I think it's called, like, The Loft, and it's, like, where these 8 men, like, white men, basically all fund an apartment, and they take women there to, like, have sex. They're all married, they're all, like, in relationships with families and all that, but they all and I think the guy from Modern Family, Cam, I think his name is, he's in it, which is so weird to watch him in Modern Family and then go and watch him in, like, as a sleaze, like,
Yeah.
disgusting person. Like, kudos to him because I fucking hated him and I couldn't see him as Cam anymore, and, like, that was terrifying. But all I'm thinking is it's like a jail cell for Asian women. Like, he has a separate apartment where he keeps Asian not necessarily mistresses, but, like, slaves, like sex slaves. That's all I could think
Right.
of. And it just reminds me of
Mm-mm.
that movie so much, and it's like the Epstein list. It's
And then that
terrifying.
chapter ends with her having yet another dream that she's killed George.
Yeah. It's actually, the amount of times that she's actually having these kinda dreams is a little scary. It's like, you are getting real fucked up. Alright, giving her a break, moving on to the next one. 34. So, 34 is, kinda we start seeing a little bit more of her fucking around with George. Um, she takes his keys and she essentially hides them and makes him look for it. They're, like, in the back of I think the fridge, and he's pissed and he's running around trying to find it. Um, and Uma is like, "Well, if it's about the car, like, go ahead and take my car. Just drop me off. It's okay." And he goes, "No, it's not about the car. I." And then immediately Jiwon goes, "Well, then what's it about? Huh?
Yeah.
What's what's so important on your keys that you, like, just lost it?" And she's like, "Yeah, you pathetic cockroach, crawl. Now you've fallen into my trap," or whatever. Um, he basically just says that he's got some files at his other location or at his other apartment. Um, and then he's already at this point told everybody that he's moved pretty much everything from that apartment due to the flooding. And so she brings that fact back up to him and he goes, "Not all of it. Stop being a smartass JW. It's not funny." And she goes, "I'm not. I'm just trying to help. You can use our printer to make new copies. What about that?" And like she just keeps pushing him and prodding him and giving him like these smart ass answers because she saw somebody do the exact same thing and she loved it. So she's going for it. So yeah. So then he finally gives up and says, "Fine, I'll print the report here. I'll take the car. But when I come back, everyone, and I mean everyone, is looking for it." And I was like, all right, so she's not gonna come home for like a long time.
Yeah.
um, and then he starts saying, like, "If no one finds my keys, they'll be hell to pay." It's like, "Bitch, what are you going to do?
Right.
Your second life on your keys are missing. Like, you idiot. What the fuck are you gonna do? You're stuck here. You ain't
He's
got no
ugh.
car. You ain't got no way to get home to another location. Like, you are literally stuck here in this apartment with 3 women. What the fuck are you gonna do?" Um, and so then down at the very end, we find out that actually it was in the fridge, and because Uma found them, and um, everyone's making fun of him because he forgot or must have forgot or whatever. And then
Yeah.
Jiwon immediately goes, "Now you can do whatever it is you do at your other apartment."
Yeah. I was just like, girl, be careful. Like, he's psycho. So
He's
is she.
psycho. She's psycho.
Yeah, but he's bigger than her. So if it came down to like a one-on-one fight,
She's quick. I believe in her. He'd probably start bending over and then he goes to like heart attack from all the Americanized food that he eats. To be aight. But anyways, that's really about it for chapter 34. So 35.
yeah, 35, she's finally starting to get back on top of her grades. Um, and still ignoring fuckface for the most part.
Yeah, like if she's responding to him, it's like one off answers or questions.
Yeah. Um, and schedules like a study group kind of thing with Alexis. And then as she's going home, somebody's following her again. But when she turns around, there's nobody there. I still think it's Jeffrey.
I think so too. I I kind of wonder if Jeffrey's not her first and she like
Stalker?
not necessarily first stalker, just first kill. And then I wonder
Oh,
too if like that helps her. 'Cause it's kind of like a Dexter thing where like it's like an artistic style of murder and like you're she hones her skills not necessarily with Jeffrey, but after Jeffrey to like do the piece de resistance with George. Sarah,
no.
girl, my aunt just texted me. "Thanks so much, sweetie. Hope you don't get a lot of snow and ice, girl." I'm on the coast. We ain't supposed to get fucking snow and ice, but here we are.
We have a shit ton of snow. I haven't looked outside in a minute, but it was already like 4 or 5 inches when I came in here.
Yeah, they're already talking about closing bridges tomorrow, and it is just cold. We haven't actually gotten any snow or ice.
Yeah. Apparently people
Well,
in Texas are already losing power.
yeah, Ted Cruz ain't nowhere to be seen either. It doesn't make
Oh,
sense.
yeah, he fucked right off.
My favorite meme of 2026 thus far is, "Oh, there goes Ted Cruz. They must be getting a store."
Honestly, like, literally the last time that they got a storm down there and they got ice, their grid is so not prepared for it that, like, people were dying in their homes.
Yeah,
Like,
because of how cold it was. There's literally people here who are so poor and broke that they have lived without electricity for years. Like we just had a really bad fire in a townhouse like location probably like not even a mile from me. Um because of course that put the fire marshal in a bad mood when she came to visit my fucking property and I was like, "Girl, it ain't my fault. I didn't burn down like 4 townhomes at 5 a.m. Like, damn." She comes in, she's like, "Oh, I'm so tired. I've been on a fire scene since 5 a.m." I was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And I was like, "Wait, is it that townhome thing I read about?" And she goes, "Yeah, guy's been living without electricity for 3 years. And so he's been using candles to see or like warm up and all of that. And he, I guess, lost control of one of them and it displaced 12 people, critically injured one was probably him." And
right.
I'm like, I don't know his story. I don't know anyone's story, but, like, also, I'm not gonna judge you for your choices, but I also am very concerned
Yeah.
because it's a two-way street. Like, you probably could do something about it, but also
Right.
the government is in, like, not helping
No, our
local
society is
communities.
fucked.
So, like, I get it, but also, like, this shit's so crazy. Um, but anyways, back to the other crazy part of this.
Chapter 36. Speaking of first kills,
Right? It's weird.
I guess that's a bit premature to say at chapter 36, but um she is she parks her car. She's on her way to Alexis's, which is like in a less nice neighborhood right outside of campus. And a guy asks her for a quarter, like a homeless guy probably. And she's like, I don't have a quarter. And then she reaches into her pocket and is like, this is all the change I have. And hands it to him. And his face lights up and he gets really excited. And then she walks up to Alexis' apartment and gets ready for their study group. And then they're going to get something to eat. It's like typical college shit.
Yeah, like, you study, it's late, you're like, "Damn, I'm hungry, let's go get food, let's go back, maybe study some
Yeah.
more, just pass out, get ready for the final." Yeah, all of that. Um, and then she gets jealous because Aaron sidles up to, Alexis, and they go and get dessert. Um, and then it's Jeffrey, because she starts leaving to go back to wherever she's going to, and she, runs into Jeffrey and just kinda not necessarily confronts him, but they start talking about, like, why you've been avoiding him and why you're doing that or whatever. And then he basically starts saying that, like, he's talked to women like Alexis before and that, it's a very manipulating conversation. It's like
Yes.
it's
That's what
it's,
I wrote.
it's very manipulating because he basically tries to convince her that Alexis is the bad person, that he's not the bad person, but it's Alexis. And Alexis has not shown any other than, like, annoyance or, like, some type of disdain for Jeffrey. She has actually shown Gilan nothing but kindness. Um, so the fact that, he is basically trying to turn her against Alexis is very manipulating and very, very abusive. And, so he, is trying to say, like, "I've talked to girls like her before, and it's always bullshit and drama with them. I can't stand it. I thought you were better, G1. You're not like other girls. That's why I like you." And her, like, inner monologue goes, "You're right. I'm not like other women." And then she goes, "I'm sorry, Jeffrey, but I have to go." He steps aside to let me pass. Before I go, he calls out, "I'd be cautious around Alexis G1. You should think about who's trying to drive a wedge in between us." And it's like, that's a manipulation tactic if
Yeah.
I ever did see one. You, sir, are driving the wedge. Like, it's, it's like a type of guilty, projection.
Yes. Absolutely. It's gross. Speaking of gross, chapter 37.
I am not going
The
to spend too much time on this because I was nauseous when I was reading this, and I tell you what, I
same.
about threw up. Like, I
Literally, the
could
only thing
handle
I wrote
it.
was, girl, what the fuck?
Mhm.
She gets back to her car, and the man that she gave the coins to earlier is dead. She sees his shoes sticking out um from the bushes, and he's dead. And she's like, what the fuck? But she pulls up his eyelids, and his eyelids are blue. Or his eyes are blue. Um
Oh, fetish.
yeah. Um, and she takes her knife, pops out his eye, and
She she dug that shit out like a fucking spoon. She was like,
yeah,
trying to get through the
yeah.
optic nerve.
And then she panics, puts it in her pocket, and takes off. But in the rearview mirror, she sees a flash of green.
And I
Which,
think Jeffrey was wearing
yeah,
green. Which
yeah,
honestly, if I were her, I probably would have looked around and made sure Jeffrey didn't follow me because he's being a crib.
yep.
But oh well. You plucked the eyeballs out and you left. You ran. Um, but yeah, she
Chapter 38, she goes to a gas station bathroom, and it's a gas station that has the outside bathroom, not in, so she doesn't have to go inside. Um,
this right here.
literally the only thing I wrote for this chapter was a asterisk and wretches.
Yeah, I did the like face. So this is why we say this. So she's in the bathroom and she pulls it out and she cleans off as much blood as she can. But this is what she does. She pops it into her mouth and she eats it. But the way this author describes the situation is fucked up. It says it's delicious. The flavor is rich and full. It's not like the fish eyes I've tried, not at all. If anything, it's more like an organ meat with a slightly metallic, beefy taste. I chew and swallow until I've eaten the whole thing. All that's left behind is the aftertaste of salt and brine. Okay. I thought I could make it through. Hold on. Suddenly parched, I stagger over to the sink and fill my cupped hands with water. I drink and drink until my stomach is painfully full, and then I stumble to the toilet and empty the contents of my stomach. Everything in the porcelain bowl is foamy and tinged with pink. I flush, pushing down on the handle and watch my sins disappear. The swirl down until there's nothing left. The fact that she just had to describe her throw up after eating that is actually, I think, worse. But anyways.
Chapter 39.
Mm.
There's more text messages of Jeffrey, begging her to not be mad at him and to keep talking to him and blah, 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 blah. And then she goes to her psychology final and she's 10 minutes late. And her professor's like, you're late. She's like, sorry. And then at the end of, well, she has like a little mini mental breakdown in the middle of the test, right? Like,
Yeah,
she's like having a whole
hyperventilating.
Lady Macbeth moment. Like, she's hyperventilating. She's like, there's so much blood everywhere.
She starts thinking about everything from the night before.
Yeah. And then good guy professor, which I think it's a woman, but anyway, she's like, she stops G1 and she's like, have you thought about seeing one of the on-campus therapists? It's free. And G1's like, oh no, I don't need that. I'm fine. Bitch. And the professor kind of continues to push. She's like, I see a lot of bright young women like you, smart and capable, who have a hard time dealing with the pressure. Talking to someone might help. And I'm like, you do need that, girl. You do need that. Bad.
Yeah, because she's starting to break. And then she leaves. And she's basically walking home and she's describing everybody around her. And he sees a security guard walking towards her and she freezes because she thinks like she's caught. This is what's going to happen. And she starts to think, they know what I've done, they know. And then all of a sudden, their skin stretches and grows. Holes begin appearing all over their bodies. In each hole, an eye emerges bright blue and staring. I cover my face with my hands and run. And she's not even asleep at this point. She just left her final, and this is psychosis at play.
Yeah, she's losing it.
She's losing. everything.
And then in chapter 40, she goes home and she overhears like phone conversation.
All
So
right.
George
My
is in the
blood
bedroom
pressure's
on the
already
phone.
high. I can't get it higher.
And we overhear him talking to a senator about how he's like, listen, I love Jen, but she's still mad at me about that trip to Thailand, yada, yada, yada. If Jen ever forgives me, this one can be my side piece. It's Jen's fault anyway. Talking about Uma, so talking about their mom. I wouldn't have done all this if she hadn't kicked me out of the apartment. So, like, he does have another family, or at least another woman. And then he goes, anyways, it's nice to have someone to cook and clean and take care of all that crap. I don't have to worry about a single thing. And then he says, and this is the part, and have I told you about the daughters? Outrageous. Let me tell you. The younger one's got an ass. Always bouncing around in tiny shorts, too, the little slut.
She's 15. She's
Mm-hmm.
little.
She's a
She's
child.
allowed to walk
A
around in shorts.
child. And instead of confronting him, Ji-won goes back to the door and slams it and goes, I'm home. And he's like,
Right there, I would have walked silently into that kitchen to grab a knife, and I would have just fucking stabbed him.
yeah,
Self-defense, sorry.
absolutely. Right, he was literally just talking about assaulting my younger sister, my minor sister, so my bad. It's insanity.
Sorry. College, going crazy.
Ugh. What a fuckhead.
I was seeing red when I read this. I was very pissed off. I was like, what the fuck? And the fact that she doesn't say anything to Uma also really pisses me off because she doesn't want Uma to sit there and think, I'm not good enough. And it's like, if I feel like he left for whatever reason, for his Seiju Palja, all of that, like, it would have nothing to do with you. It's his brain. However, this man is physically talking about Ugalin and Agalin, all of these little girls that are Asian, including your own daughter. Like, I feel like if you told her, like, she wouldn't go back to her feeling like she is not good enough or whatever, like, waiting by the door. Because there's a
I
reason
don't
for
know,
him to
because her
leave.
mom is also a little bit meh.
Yeah.
Like, she might think that she's not good enough because she's too old, and, like, so he likes her daughters because she's too old or something. It's still gross and not okay, but, like,
I'd rather deal with that bullshit than what she doesn't do. So she doesn't say anything to anyone, she just lets it happen.
yeah, and then
'Cause
all of
if
a
Uma's
sudden
happy, then everyone's happy.
yeah. And then all of a sudden, George's driver's license is missing, which I believe we already know that G1 put it down the garbage disposal. Don't we know that already?
Yeah, I think she did it when,
Yeah.
the knife incident when he was sleeping.
Yeah. And he has noticed that it's gone, and he's like, have you touched my wallet? Somebody's been messing with it. Um, and then he asks Ji-hyun if it's her, and she's like, why are you asking me? And he's like having a fit, basically. Um, and then he leaves, I think. And Ji-yoon is having a conversation with her, and she's like worried about everything, understandably.
Mhm.
And then later, George isn't home when Uma turns on the garbage disposal and rattles loudly. The blades whirring furiously before coming to a grinding stop. So she finds his driver's license, and then she says, "Let's not mention this to him, okay? He doesn't need to know." Why? Are you scared of his reaction? Are you worried about what he's going to do? Because if you
Yeah.
are, then maybe this isn't a man you should have around your children.
Yeah. And Ji-hoon was like, "He never does the dishes. What the fuck? Why is it over there?"
Yeah.
And she starts looking at Jiwon like, "What the hell, sis? What are you doing?"
Yeah. And she's figuring it out.
Mhm. But yeah, so, next chapter, 41, we find out that Jiwon did pass her final. She is off academic probation, and she's talking to Alexis about it, and Alexis brings up, "Did you know that they, found a dead body by my apartment? They're actually like, the night that we all studied together, they're actually calling for a serial killer because the eyes were missing."
Yeah.
And Jiwon's like,
And the
"What?"
man was drugged, sleeping pills, they think.
Yeah. And
And
instead of, like, pausing to talk about it, she goes, "Yeah, that's crazy. So what classes are you taking this semester or this quarter?"
but the reason that I said earlier her first kill was because if you'll remember earlier in the book, Alexis gave her 2 Ambien to help her sleep, and she
Oh,
just emptied her pocket into this homeless man. She never took those pills. She just emptied her pocket into this homeless man's
so she gave him
hand.
Ambien.
She gave him the sleeping pills, so she also drugged him. And part of me is like, did a part of her know that she did that? Like, do you think a part of her brain was like, "Yeah, let's give this homeless man drugs that we know he's gonna take."
But did she realize his eyes were blue
I
until
don't
he
think she
died?
did at that point. I don't know that she didn't mention it if she did. But either way,
That's crazy.
she gave him the drugs that knocked him out, whether it was intentional or not.
Huh. I completely forgot about the Ambien.
I didn't because she never took it, and I was like in my head, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna use that on George. She's gonna drug George." Um,
Like, I don't know why, I just thought she just, like, kept it.
because she also it was weird in the moment. I remember reading it, and it was weird to me that she just tucked it in her pocket. I was like, "That's gonna be significant at some point." So when this happened, I was like, "Oh, shit."
Crazy, actually. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, wow. So, yeah, I guess that would be considered her first kill if that's the case.
Yeah.
Damn, I was hoping it'd be Jeffrey. Um, but
Have
this
you
is
finished the book
also
yet?
no.
Oh, okay.
I honestly thought I had to read this weekend. I was like, "Oh, fuck, I'm not even ready." And I was like, "Wait, am I ready?" So, I had to double check. But, um, so so George is leaving on a week-long business trip to Thailand,
Mhm.
which we are just heard that Jen is pissed off at him for a week-long business trip to Thailand.
Yeah, we all know what he's gonna go do in Thailand, like
Gross.
yeah. Chapter 42 is literally 1 page long. Um, and let me tell you that both Uma and Jiwon are nutsy cuckoo, and that's basically all this chapter tells us.
Yeah. Um, what is it? Yeah, so she's sitting there thinking about, George and basically killing him and all of this, even though it's like a dream. And then Uma is
She had
like,
a dream that there was a female ghost in her room.
and obviously it was,
Jiwon.
yeah,
Yeah. So they're
but
both a little nutsy cuckoo.
yeah. So yeah, there's that. And then chapter 43 was 1 page too. We're talking a little bit. George is still not here. We're talking a little bit more about the wedding, and how Uma is essentially basically doing everything to get ready for it, like centerpieces, all of that kind of stuff to it, and getting all the goods to get the wedding pieces ready to go and underway. Um,
And she's a little manic about it because he's not there.
Yeah.
because he's on his business trip. She's like panicking that he's not going to come back.
Which he'll come back. He just is gonna go back.
Yeah.
But
And I'm just
so
like, this whole time, I'm like, he's already got someone else. Is he really about to marry this woman? And I mean,
I
clearly
wonder
he's
if
not
like he
married
keeps
to this Jen,
pushing.
but
I wonder if he keeps. Well, what if he is married to this Jen?
he could be, I guess.
Like, what if he just continues to push off the wedding for like one
And it's
excuse
just like
after
keeping her
another?
hanging on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucked either way.
So that's the end. Lily, do you have any final parting words?
Hi, Lily.
We got a picture of them last night, so this is obviously Scarlett's bed because Lily takes up very little of it. Um, so I got Lily a matching bed, just like this,
Oh,
but it's her size. And we had them both in the office last night, and they were both sleeping on their own bed and snuggling, all of that. And then at one point, Lily got up and went to somewhere. And Scarlett was like, "This looks like a nice bed. I'm going to get on it." And then she gets into Lily's bed. So this
oh.
50-pound dog is in a bed made for not even a 10-pound animal.
That sounds right.
And I'm like, yep, here we go. So, oh no, I'm not on chapter 44. Back. Okay. So, yeah.
Cute.
Ugh,
All right.
okay. Well, that is the end of part 3 of Eyes Are the Best Part, and we'll see you for part 4. So until next time.
Bye.